Well, good afternoon, people. This is Swishbone here, checking in. Got another beer review coming up for you. Before we carry on, though, I just want to do a quick lounge around. See a few bags and that knocking around here. It's because I've actually recently upgraded to a new high-definition camera. 16:9, yes! As you know, my original shots from America were a little shaky and a little not together because I was using a very small tripod, which is very fragile, and my camera not exactly cutting edge. So I'm seeing what this is made of. Fingers crossed that it does exactly what I want it to. Now, speaking of America, while I was out there, just in case you didn't see the review, this is a beer I tried out there. It's called Terrapin Hopsecutioner. Absolutely fantastic. And quite frankly, one of the nicest beers I've had in a long, long time. The only problem is it's brewed by this firm Terrapin, who are based down in Georgia. I believe it's Athens where they're based. And needless to say, not seen it over here. However, I am going to go further west from America, but much further to the east for us to Japan, courtesy for this. This is a beer I've had many times while I've been over in Japan. It's called Asahi Black. It's a black lager. Now, it's interesting because black beers you normally associate with stouts such as Guinness or things like Murphy's, beers like that, which are very, very heavy. But you do also get black ales as well, don't you, at Christmas time, what they call the guzzlers, and they're mostly chocolate beers. They're nice, but this is a lager, so I'm trying to think, the black lager, you're probably wondering how that works. Well, let's give it a shot and find out. Showing the spirit of samurai there, and the fact that they put up a fight when it comes to actually getting the beer open. When smelling this, it's got a really smooth smell to it. It's very inviting. Kind of somewhere between caramel and fruit. Now, I know that sounds like a bizarre situation. You're probably thinking, what do you mean caramel and fruit? It's got, what I mean by that is, it's got the warm aroma of something like a raisin or something of that nature, but it's got a very silky and sweet scent that reminds me a lot of fresh caramel. Well, as I say, in Japan they say genpai. Let's find out. Now this beer, it's surprisingly malty in its texture. It's very, it's a lager. You can definitely tell it's a lager. But unlike most lagers, whether it's a commercial one such as a Carling or a Carlsberg, or whether it's a lesser celebrated one such as Brooklyn, it's not got that same gassy feature to it. It's kind of like, it's more still. It's not the same kind of thing like an ale where it's very warm, very poppy. And this is like, it takes the best qualities of an ale, but softens it. It's quite easy to drink. It leaves a really nice aftertaste on both the lips and on the tongue. It's quite silky, and it's the kind of beer I really recommend that you should try. Now, ironically, originally you could get this in the supermarket chain Tesco over here in the United Kingdom. I remember walking into one in my hometown, the town I live in at the moment, and just seeing it on the shelves and going, what's that doing there? Normally you'd have to go to like specialist Japanese restaurants or Japan itself. It's now started to fade out, unfortunately, which tells me that there's one reason why, because this is only brewed in Tokyo. A lot of other beers from Japan, like Sapporo and Kirin Ichiban and Asahi Superdry, they have licenses to be brewed in like Canada, the UK, Europe. This doesn't. This is exclusive to Japan, along with other ones I've not yet tried, which I've heard about from bloggers in Japan. So this beer is a genuine Japanese import. It's very rare in that respect. It's quite unusual. But, as I say, it's well worth the effort finding. Even if you have to go online to places like the Japan Centre or visit one of the chain Japanese stores such as Wagamama or Samsi, it's worth trying purely for that expert taste. For those of you who want to try it but don't want to go to extensive looks, there is a Brazilian equivalent, very similar style, called Xingha. Don't confuse it with the Chinese or Thailand, I'm not sure which country it is. China or Thailand may one called Xingha. It's not that one, it's spelled with an X, so it looks Chinese, but it's actually Brazilian. It's just as good as Asahi Black, well worth finding. Also, if you can get the chance to go to a Brewdog bar anywhere in the country, their version of their beer, Zeitgeist, is very similar as well. Though when it comes to Brewdog, if you want the taste of Asahi Black, but with a bit more kick, stay tuned to the next few episodes, because I've got a beer coming up which is super exclusive, super expensive, but a super beer. Until then, Gampai, Swishbone out.